How's it going, guys? My name is Graeme and welcome to Two Left Thumbs. Welcome for probably like the first time for the vast majority of you. I'm trying to cope with what to say or where to start in a video like this. I had to give people some context. We've earned more subscribers in the last week than in the 2 previous years when the channel started. So, yeah. Still figuring that one out. Thank you. It's a good place to start. Thank you so much. I was gonna make this like titled like, oh, a big subscriber milestone video. Thanks for X subscribers, but it's growing at a rate that I don't know what milestone to flag. There's too many of them. Luckily I did get a screenshot of this, and that is the only milestone that matters, right? It's stupid. And of course, most of those people are here from the Delta Rune videos. I suppose there's always a concern when someone on YouTube has a breakout that they've accidentally pigeonholed themselves and that's all people are here for. And while I tend to assume that's going to be true for a lot of people, there has been a very large outpouring of support from people saying, can't wait to see what's next. A little bit of what else do you guys have to offer. There's that new YouTube community tab, which is really cool. I've been trying to make better use of that, and I put out a poll being like, hey, I don't know what to do. Realistically, moving forward, I just want to keep making videos that we enjoy making. I strongly believe that if we're not having fun making it, then it's not going to be fun to watch. So I don't plan to completely change the channel to fit this new audience. I guess the hope instead is that the new audience can become fans of the existing types of content. And that's a really big ask. It's the biggest ask, really. As we upload new stuff, hopefully people give it a try and they can decide for themselves. If it's not what they signed up for, then I totally understand if they click that unsubscribe button. The last thing I want is for people to feel like they got tricked into subscribing to a channel, if that makes sense. But like I said, this channel is about 2 years old. Oh god, that doesn't sound right. Oh god, the channel's gonna be 3 years old at the start of the new year. Whew. How did that happen? Okay, in that time, in nearly 3 years, there's about 1,400 videos on this channel. Some of them have been minor successes and stuff, but there's a lot of them that are just floating around with like 50 views. Some of them with like 7 views, I don't know. Obviously that's gonna happen when you're trying to grow a channel. But after talking with people, they said they were curious. Oh, hello. Just had a cat hop up in my lap. This is Misty. She is very needy, but also adorable. That's about all you need to know about her, I guess. There's a lot of people who were saying that they were seeing that community poll even though they had like watched a video or like 2 minutes of a video and all of a sudden YouTube was recommending it to them. I thought that was weird. I don't know if I really like that. It feels like it should be treated like Twitter where you have to be following the person. Recommending videos, cool. Recommending like polls and weird posts, I don't know. Just my 2 cents. So there was a lot of people who were voting no, I don't know who you are, so that kind of skewed things. The majority of people are saying, yeah, do a video like this. I'm hoping to act as a bit of a guide through the channel and some of the existing content. For people who want the quickest, most digestible version of this, there's like a channel trailer. It's at least a year old, but in the span of 90 seconds, it probably sums a lot of this up, and then you guys can decide if this seems like a cool place you want to hang out in. Let me pull up my list here, and then I can start rattling off series that I think you guys might like. The channel is Two Left Thumbs. It started as Two Left Thumbs. The idea was always at least 2 people playing games together. Whenever we're playing against each other, it's titled Thumb Wars. We kind of distinguished it there. People had busy schedules and I was kind of messing around with things anyways, and I started making solo content, Graeme Games. And now these days we try to do a nice balance, 50-50 of the team things versus the solo things. I'm going to have links to all these down below, so there's going to be a big compiled list of playlist links for you guys. If you do end up finding a series or a video that you like, please do leave comments over on those videos. As a creator, you're shown comments in the order that they're posted no matter what video it's on, so we won't miss them. And it would be really cool to know that someone did find something they like and did go out looking after this video. So yeah, please do engage with those videos and stuff. It would mean a lot to us. If you want less of like a curated list of series and more of just a dump of like, here's what we have. There's a playlist that is every single part 1 of every series we've ever done. It's like 180 something videos. But you can basically scroll through there, see what we've done, and then maybe use that as a jumping off point to start a new series. But then there's also hundreds of one-offs that wouldn't be included in that list, so I can link to that as well. I'll do that, I'll link to that as well. I imagine a lot of people got here through the Deltarune content, and so if Let's Plays aren't totally your bag, maybe you need a little bit more of a gentler transition. There's an ongoing series that I've been really trying to nurse and cultivate the last little while that I've titled Flashlight. It's a series of histories and retrospectives of Flash content, ranging from games, movies, series, developers. Mostly at this point it has been games, but I'm trying to spin it out into other things. I'm so happy with that series. The first full one was on the history of Fancy Pants Adventures, and I feel like I finally nailed down the series with that one, and it's been exactly what I want it to be ever since, and I'm very happy with that one. I think you guys would really enjoy all that as well. So if you want something that's not straight up a Let's Play, that would be my #1 recommendation. Let's rifle through some Two Left Thumbs content that we've done. Brendan and I did a very long playthrough of Undertale. It is just a neutral run, and we very recently, because of all this, been talking about maybe revisiting for the full experience. It was very early on in the channel, we were kind of figuring things out. I think it was late enough in the channel that we were pretty comfortable. I don't think it's as cringy as the first stuff on the channel, which still exists. I believe in having a catalog of that. I don't like deleting old videos. I've never gone back and watched those. I really hope they're not unbearable. A very high up recommendation from me is our Pokemon Fire Red Randomizer Nuzlocke, which is a mouthful. But I think we came up with something really cool with that one. Myself, Kirk, Brendan, and David are all playing it together. But then every 20 minutes we switch out. And we'll do 3 episodes where we play it in pairs. And in every 4th episode we're all 4 of us in a room together. Kind of became a running thing that when you're playing without someone in a room, you don't care as much about a Pokemon that they caught dying. So we kind of end up screwing each other over a lot, and I think it's just outrageous and so fun. So I really can't recommend that one enough. I still think to this day it's one of the funniest things on the channel. If you're also into Pokemon, not too long ago, David and I played through Pokemon Snap. Brendan and I played through Chameleon Twist 2. It was some old game that he had on his N64 that we thought would be funny to come back to. It's not a very long series, it's pretty janky, but I think it has some pretty good laughs in there. David and I played Rambo the video game. Again, not a super long series, but I personally love that one because we just knew the game sucked right away. And with like each passing installment in that, David hates it more and more, and I enjoy his hatred of it more and more. But I think that one's really great. Speaking of games that just are funny because they suck, My Vet Practice is clearly a game for kids. David and I both knew it was gonna suck. Oh, and Playing History, a game I played with one of my oldest friends, Brandon. Those are 2 games that were so terrible that we just enjoyed making fun of them. Feel the Snow with Brendan was great. It's kind of like a winter-themed Don't Starve survival game. We had 2 computers set up, so we were actually playing it in like a LAN multiplayer. That was really fun. Monumental Failure with Kirk. It's like this physics-based puzzle game, and we were just terrible at it. David and I had an outrageous amount of fun with the 2 Flicks and Chill games. I think we started it trying to approach it seriously for some reason, and really quickly realized the sillier we were with it, the more fun we would have. We had so much fun with the first one, and started talking with the developer, and he and I are actually in the second game. Just like representations of us, our lookalikes and names or whatever. We didn't have any hand in writing it or anything. But that was a cool moment in the channel history. Voodoo Vince, that one was cool. I played that with my girlfriend. It was like her favorite childhood game on her Xbox. So she just has cool memories of that, and I thought it was a fun game because it's kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie 3D platformer sort of thing. It's a really cool game. It was just nice playing something with her too. Brendan and I had played through Dream Daddy because every Let's Player played through Dream Daddy. I think we had a lot of fun with that. Golf Story is an RPG golf game from the Nintendo Switch that I played with David. We sat down to play it thinking that it was a 2-player game. It wasn't, but it was still like a ton of fun. And we stopped and realized it was like the 3rd golf game he and I had played together. So it became kind of like a weird running thing that he and I always play golf games. So there's a playlist I can link to that's entirely just part 1s of all the different golf series we've done. Scorched Earth, I also played that one with Brandon. He and I grew up playing that game on like a DOS computer. It's like Pocket Tanks or Worms or any game like that, but old and like amazing and shitty all at the same time because of how old it is. Something more recent, a very recent game, Ninjin Clash of Carrots. My buddy Paul, super positive, he has his own YouTube channel. He and I just hopped on that game together on a whim and kind of had like a crazy amount of fun with it. There's still more episodes of that I haven't uploaded yet, actually. I feel like I was intentionally digging quite deep into the channel history, so that one's a little more recent. I guess I'll flip over and talk about some Graeme Games content for a minute. For anyone who knows the old Madness series from Crinkles, very popular on Newgrounds, still has a huge fan base to this day. Madness Project Nexus has been a game in the works for years at this point. It was one of the earliest things to get really popular on the channel. I did alpha and beta gameplay of that. Honestly, I would say don't even go back to the alpha footage. I was pretty new to things. I recorded it at like the wrong resolution. Maybe some of the commentary there is still kind of funny, I don't know. But it's literally hard to watch because it just looks bad. But starting with like the beta, I did figure it out and it's much clearer, so that might be a good one to check out. West of Loathing might be one of the games I have the fondest memories of playing by myself. I feel like it kind of had a moment on YouTube. Markiplier and all these big names were playing it, but everyone played these really condensed versions of it. You know, got it down to 8, 10 parts, whatever it was, sailed through the game, had some quick laughs and left it. So that stands still as the longest series on the channel with 47 parts. It works out to like 23 hours of content or something. You could literally wake up first thing in the morning and just watch it through till dawn the next morning. I first picked that one up not because of other YouTubers doing it, but because I grew up playing Kingdom of Loathing. So I actually do have a series playing through some of that as well that I do want to come back to because it's still so funny. Speaking of games I grew up with, I have played through Diablo 1. I used the Beelzebub mod, which kind of makes it fit into higher modern resolution screens. It adds a bunch of quality of life features and things like that. I had a pretty lengthy playthrough of Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition going on. It's a bit more slower paced, like old school style RPG, not the action RPG. Might not be for everyone, but again, I do go through it quite meticulously, and I think that was appreciated by people who watched it. The Low Road, a cool point-and-click adventure game, made by X-Gen Studios, which lots of people probably know from like Fishy, Motherload, things like that. Great studio, great game. Speaking of point-and-clicks, Dark Side Detective. I think second to West of Loathing as one of the funniest games I've ever played. Each video of that is close to like an hour because the game is split into these cases, and I do a full video for each case. That game was so crazy fun and enjoyable. I think you guys would like that no matter what. I recently played through Unworthy. It's basically 2D Dark Souls. Kicked my ass hard and I kind of raged more than I'm used to. But it was a very cool game and I had a lot of fun with that one. I know people really get excited about horror content. We don't do a ton of horror stuff on the channel. There is a little bit to be found though. I played through this game called Husk because it came in like a humble bundle or something. My memories of that game were that it was funnier than it was scary, but I'm sure it was still scary at parts. I don't remember much about that game, but I think I was very harsh and in like a zone when I played it, so I think I remember it being pretty funny. Something much more recent from the channel, which has been one of my standout favorite games of the year on the channel, pushing up into all time. The game is unbelievable, and also something that I specifically think Undertale fans are really gonna love is Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. The characters and world are like as good as Undertale. It has this cool Earthbound style gameplay. I've also played it for like 40 something hours and I still haven't finished it. It's a massive game. I've been peddling that one as much as possible because I desperately want that game to break out and get the recognition it deserves. So that's stuff that we played with 2 players or with just myself, I guess with the exception of the Nuzlocke. But there's also a bunch of games on the channel that we've played in big groups. Yama Yama was always fun. It's like a series of mini games, but like just batshit insane. Floppy Heroes I first played by myself, realized it would be funny with someone else. David joined me, and then we eventually built it up to playing with like 3 or 4 people. It just became clear the game was built for many people. You just have these ragdoll guys that bash into each other. It's some good fun, and also that game costs like $2. We've been fans of Jackbox games for years, and so every year when a new Jackbox Party Pack comes out, we make sure to play it right away. We often revisit those games as well. Currently, actually, there's Jackbox videos being uploaded to the channel. Yawn Altar was a pretty early one in the channel history, so I feel like some of the early episodes of it are edited quite clunkily. It's a really cool game because it's like an old school RPG, but everyone is playing off of their phone. So you're looking at the monitor, controlling with your phone. It lets you like manage your inventory and stuff, so that's really nice because it makes it not occupy gameplay time. That game was really awesome. I would just generally recommend that game to anyone. We played a little bit of Garfield Kart, strictly one of those games that we played because we pretty much guaranteed it was going to suck. The game delivers. That's one where I think I suffered more than everyone else, that I was the only one in the room who didn't want to play it. A Gummy's Life, it's basically Gang Beasts, but everyone plays as Candy. That game's pretty great. Party Panic? I think a lot of people are familiar with just the usual minigame mode. They added this weird trophy hunt mode and then a board game mode, so we played through both of those and had a crazy amount of fun with those. This is the first time I ever collaborated with Super Positive and GBC Tyler. Just fond memories too, being one of the first things I did with those guys. Speaking of board game type things, you guys might also enjoy the recent Pummel Party. It's basically Violent Mario Party. I played that one with some online buddies. Quite a while back in the channel too, for St. Patrick's Day, we did Birrio Party. I feel like a lot of people have heard of Birrio Kart. Birrio Party is less common. Over the course of like an hour and a half, we get pretty drunk and are quite intense about it, but I think that enhances the experience. We also had very recently played Super Mario Party, which just came out. That one's pretty cool because I played it with like 3 of my oldest childhood friends. So that was pretty cool that the 4 of us were able to get together for that. What are some other ones? Park Bound. Played that one with some online friends. It's a very wholesome game where it's kind of a sandbox and people create their own worlds of just whatever the hell they want. And we just kind of bounced around doing whatever and having some laughs. I do have more of that one I need to upload as well. Soyf. SOYF, Shit on Your Friends. I think we only did 2 episodes of that, but it's damn hilarious. I wish that game got more exposure. A couple more recent ones, Wizard's Tourney. That one was with online friends again, and it's another collection of mini games, but all with like this wizard theme. Light Fingers, another Switch game from not too long ago with Brendan and Kirk. That one was an amazing game. It was super cool. I feel like the gameplay of it is a little slower than what some people might be used to, but I can't recommend it enough. It's an amazing game. I also recommend the Let's Play of it, but the game I recommend. I do have a Rift, but it does put a lot of strain on the computer, unfortunately, so I'm trying to find a better setup so I can play VR stuff more often. But we did get a group together and do Don't Knock Twice in VR. It was just terrifying. Oh, is that too much? Did I talk for too long? It feels like I talked for too long. I'm really gonna have to bank on being able to edit this down into something digestible. I hope it just comes across as being excited about this. I'm excited about where things are going. I'm excited that you guys will be there with us. It would be cool for some of these old series to get some viewership. They've always been fun to make, so it's never felt like a loss putting the time in, but I feel like it would be even more meaningful knowing that more people saw them, you know? So there's a lot of choices if anyone's interested. Hopefully you find at least one thing you like in there somewhere. Something to maybe help you decide if you want to stick around. Or maybe nuts to all of it. You just stick around for whatever comes next, and that's fine too. No need to go digging in the past if that's not your thing. Oh, so much to talk about. I better just cut it off before I go on and on. I apologize if I missed anything. Am I apologizing to myself? I feel like only I would know if I missed something. If I think on it later and realize I should have mentioned something in particular, I'll make a pinned comment or something. This video is long enough. Thank you all very much. I hope you guys stick around. I hope you find something you like. We'll see you again soon.